Welcome to the Windy City Benders podcast, presented by Beer League Talk, with your hosts, Noe, Poetsy, Jerem, and Tanner.
Emmy.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome into episode 55 of the Windy City Bender podcast. And you heard that right, presented by Beer League Talk. Super freaking excited about that.
So freaking excited.
As you heard in the intro, as per usual, we've got Noli.
Hey.
I was just saying, you're going to say something for the people that are just listening?
No, it's all right.
We've got Jerem.
Hey, what's going on?
And the late added, we've got Tanner.
Officially added, by the way, as well as the Beer League Talk. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Sorry, I'm going to take a sip out of my beer.
All right, so episode 55, a.k.a. the Daze, a.k.a. your 2002 All-Star MVP.
The man that can't close his mouth. So, wide open all the time. Can't close.
Okay.
So, it's round 2 in the NHL playoffs. We're going to get to that in a second, but I officially know nothing about hockey. I give up. I know nothing.
You did the best out of all of us. What do you mean you give up?
Yeah, are you kidding me? Also, let's mention the fact that we're recording this in the middle of Dallas and St. Louis right now, and it's 1-1. So we have no idea who's winning this game. Columbus just lost, but first round's over, and the NHL did a second round bracket because so many brackets were fucked. So no one has a clue what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. What is hockey? I don't know.
So yeah, so playoff.
I've been crying for the past days.
Yeah, that's why my eyes look red.
Before we get into all the playoffs and everything like that, we do have a special guest on today from Beer League Talk, Nick Fleehart. He's just going to kind of give you guys a bit of an intro as to what Beer League Talk is, what they're all about, and kind of a little background on himself as well. So that'll be super cool. But as per usual, starting out with a little Hawks Talk.
Hawks.
There you go. So, not too much happening, especially with the Hawks obviously out of the playoffs and everything like that. But one pretty cool thing did happen. I believe it was today. Yeah.
Well, it depends when you're listening to this.
On Thursday it happened. Patrick Kane was nominated for the Ted Lindsey Award, which I think is pretty awesome because that's voted on by the players. So, best or most outstanding player in the league, I think, is the actual.
It's basically MVP voted by the players.
By the National Hockey League Players Association.
Jesus.
Holy cow.
Fucking have another one, bud.
Yeah. Going at it again, huh? Jesus H. Kaner to get nominated by that, though, because I mean there were so many players in the league this year that could well be MVP type caliber players. So it's cool to have other players in the league nominate him. You know,
Definitely deserved.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, he definitely deserved it. 110 points.
Yeah.
Basically was the reason that the Hawks had somewhat of a chance of making the playoffs this year. Just lit it up even when the Hawks weren't looking great. Just went on another unreal point streak. Yeah, I mean, he's the fucking man. Fucking right, Chicago.
He is
Let's fucking go.
He is going up against McDavid and Kucherov for this award, so the chances of him actually winning the Ted Lindsey Award are pretty slim since they don't count the postseason.
I gotta. Well, I mean, only one of those were in the postseason. Yeah, he only had 1 point?
Yeah.
But barely in the postseason.
3 games.
Yeah.
4.
Hey,
no, you're right.
I texted.
My bad. Sorry.
No, 3.
I know. I fucking corrected myself as soon as I said it.
I also just want to point out the fact that he has where they're like, Do you feel sorry for what you did? He's like, no.
No.
Fucking Russians, man.
I learned nothing.
I learned nothing.
I mean, going up against Cooch and McDavid, I mean, you'd think he wouldn't have that great of a shot, but I mean, I'd put him ahead of Cooch for sure, just because that team is fucking stacked. Like, I mean, yeah, he's a great player and like he did a lot for that team, but you take Kane off the Hawks and they are not what they are. So I mean, the only other one would be McDavid. I would say that you put ahead of him. I'd say Cooch is third, in my opinion, on what the players would be saying.
I think just because Kucherov went off this year and had as many points as he did, and was just as dynamic as he was, I think that he's probably going to end up winning that. He's probably going to end up winning the Hart Ross Trophy, or not?
He did win the
Hart.
Ross.
Yeah,
Ted Lindsey.
yeah.
I mean, I think he broke the record for most points by Russian-born player in in one season. So, I mean, what he did was special, and you can't really take away from the fact that he was on a powerhouse of a team.
Yeah.
Because you know what, regardless of how good everybody was around him, I mean, he was unreal.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say, like, Kucherov only tied his team in points. Kaner just absolutely demolished the Blackhawks in points. They only had like 80-something points, and Kane had 110. I'm just saying, like, if we're going off of points based off of the team, Kaner for sure.
So I was thinking about this. Does winning this award this year, mean a little bit more because of Ted Lindsey passing?
I think it might. I mean, it does mean a little bit more to whoever wins it.
I mean, it gives it like a little extra meaning, like this year, just because this is the first year that he's going to see who wins it. I don't know that it gives any added special meaning.
Legacy to the war. Yeah, I was saying more for like this year, just because it's kind of a cool honor to be winning it after we lost him.
Yeah, for sure, that makes sense. So, but yeah, we'll see. I don't think that he's going to win, and I think it's probably going to end up with Cooch. We'll see. It's so nice to have a Blackhawk after the up and down year that they had actually get nominated for something like this. So who'd have thunk it? So, but yeah, other than that, really nothing else going on in Hawkland. Let's recap that first round, because there were a couple doozy game sevens.
Coach, real quick, I want to point out the fact that Don Granato also stepped down as assistant coach for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did that this morning, didn't he?
So that did happen as well.
Yeah,
and that's the rest of the news. Like,
that was it.
That is stock.
Parted ways. It's
So
okay. So our chances of getting Cammy in pretty low now. But I think we'll be okay.
Let's real quick about the fact that not a single division winner made it past the first round. And what?
Yikes.
And what? Exactly. And what? Exactly.
First time
in
national sports history that's ever happened.
And no, I mean, that kind of goes along with obviously that the two leaders of each conference got knocked out first round too, and one win between the two teams. One.
Incredible.
Yep. The fact that it's the first time in like the way the playoffs are made up that both 8th seeded teams have made it past the first round, let alone the 7th seeded teams have made it past the first round as well, to just happen at the same time. And then just the whole fuck you and all of your shit that you think is going to happen in hockey. But how amazing is this parody is ridiculous.
It's so frustrating because I think I know what I'm talking about. I like hockey. I watch hockey. I like to think I know hockey. And then this shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize I don't know anything about anything.
So how much we actually know about hockey? Here's a quick rundown of our standings after round one.
No,
please don't.
About it.
Tanner is a 2 for 6. Boats is 3 for 5.
Islanders, baby.
Post is 3-5, and me and Noli are tied for a respectable 1-7.
Yeah, number one.
Number one.
So, I mean, looking at it, like, yeah.
Wait, which series did you get right?
St. Louis.
The Blues.
Oh no.
Yeah. Fuck the Jets. No, it's so frustrating because it's like I want to pick a bracket and like think I know what I'm talking about, but at the same time, it's so awesome that this could happen. And it's like, what other sport is that going to happen in?
Yeah.
And it's like, who the fuck is going to win the cup now? Like the last champion, out of all the teams left in the playoffs, the last champion was the Boston Bruins in 2011. So we're going to have a new champion that hasn't been around in a while, which is awesome.
I tweeted it out. The chances of it being like a conference final of like the Canes and the Blue Jackets are very real, or like the Blues and the Avalanche, and like have it be like a Blues Carolina Stanley Cup final. Like, can you imagine, like, as entertaining as that is from just like a pure like fan base, like two teams that like nobody really cares about are going for the cup, and like that's crazy to me. But from NBC's standpoint, they're looking for somebody that they could really sell the game to, and like
it's Carolina Edmonton all over again.
They want it to be.
Well, that's when you realize that the Hawks sneak into the playoffs at this point. and they take over the like Dallas place. They're also tied 1-1 with St. Louis because that's a way better series than the fucking Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
Also, the three teams from the Central are in.
Yeah.
The final four of the West or whatever. So that's pretty dope.
Central is.
Yeah, people were writing them off this year, saying that the East, every team in the East is a wagon, but I mean, Central's fucking damn good still, except for that fucking scrub Roman Polak, that piece of shit.
Also, those wagons are done. Fucking Washington and Tampa.
Yeah.
Those wagons only had 2 wheels. Don't you need 3 wheels to be a wagon, bro?
Don't you need 4?
Yeah, don't you need 4?
Oh, you guys know how a wagon works?
Yeah, those are called wheelbarrows with 3 wheels. No, that's
Tricycle.
1 wheel. Still dumb. It's a tricycle.
Hit him with the mute.
Wait.
Who?
I'm stat guy. Let me look up fucking wagons.
There's 4 wheels.
This is the
Did you ever play
The
Oregon Trail?
the stupidity on this show right now.
Yeah.
This is what we get for recording at 10 o'clock at
wheels do you
night.
need to have a wagon?
Wagoon.
4 wheels. Fuck, 4 wheels. Yo, can you hear that?
Yeah.
Let's talk Game 7. Let's go in backwards order. So we hit the Maple Leafs last, and then we can have a good cry over it.
Tanner's
Let's start with the Canes and Capitals that happened last night. Holy cow. Capitals came out buzzing. Absolutely buzzing.
I thought they were going to blow the roof off that joint, and Canes didn't fucking stand a chance.
No. I mean, it took, a minute and a half for the Capitals to score in that game, and it was Andrei Burakovsky just being an absolute bulldozer.
Yeah. Keep going.
What's happening?
I'm figuring it out. Keep going, guys.
Okay. It was Andrei Burakovsky being an absolute bulldozer on that strip. I mean, he threw somebody against the boards. I forgot what hurricane it was, but he coughed up the puck, and Burakovsky took it right back, held on to it for an extra 2 seconds, got everybody to fall down, and roofed at it. Made it work, and that place went insane.
That was an unreal goal. Yeah, just Bardowski, not a big deal. Like, hey, how are you? Welcome to the show, kid.
He's starting to be a big Game 7 guy. He had a big Game 7 against Tampa last year, 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Washington. They have so much depth. They really do, that anybody can step up at any fucking moment. And too bad Mr. Game 7 wasn't on their side this year.
Yeah. Well, how much did it hurt Washington, do you guys think, that TJ Oshie was not a part of that lineup for the last couple games?
Pretty big.
big time. He's a huge gamer, honestly. Like he's a mule. He can do fucking everything.
And he was playing really well.
Yeah, he was. And I don't know. It's kind of a joke, that whole play. I don't know. It's a dangerous play. You feel bad for the guy, but yeah, that's a huge loss.
Did you guys see Oshie's tweet last night after the game was over?
No.
Broke my heart. He tweeted out, he was like, it's always tough to end your season early, but it's even tougher when you can't even be there with the boys on the ice. I was like, Jesus.
Like, that's the tough part. Like, I always look at Oshie as like being such a skilled guy, but he's got the big body too. He's like he's basically like a more skilled Tom Wilson. And like Tom Wilson's disgusting. He's really good at what he does. And like TJ Oshie has like the hands and the speed to like do that kind of shit, but he still has that size that like they both have the same, like I feel like they both have the same body build. They just use it in two different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, crazy to have like two different kinds of players that like are basically the same person and use them like that. Like,
yeah, because you got Oshie, like we said before, just kicking Justin Williams' stick just to get some more space. Like, who's going to think of that?
Unreal.
I did see a funny tweet last night. They were like, if this goes to after the second overtime's over and nobody's winning, the lights are going to go black. Music's going to start playing. TJ Oshie's going to come out and score in a shootout.
Scoring a shootout.
that's TJ Oshie's music.
I'm a real American blasting in the background.
I was gonna say glass breaks. It's the that's TJ Oshie coming out of the fucking fans.
Oshie 316.
You got to give credit where credit's due, though. Carolina very easily could have just said, "Well, that was fun while it lasted."
Yeah,
right.
But they battled hard. They came back in that game. They went down 2-0, made it 2-1, which was interesting, and that's a goal that Braden Holtby's going to want back, and that's going to haunt him for a while because if he makes
that,
easy to save.
That saying is the worst saying of all time. What goalie wouldn't want any goal that they let in back?
Well, that's true.
Fair.
Oh, hey, that you're gonna want that one back, but the 6 other ones you let up, you're not worried about those ones. Like,
Well, I'll tell you what, like the 700 goals that I let in, I'm gonna want back because otherwise I'll be in the show right now.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But what that one's gonna keep him up. It's a looper right into his glove, and he just caught it right back up to the middle. Can't happen.
But
Yeah.
he's got a fucking Stanley Cup ring anyway, so
Yeah, the ring got in the way. He was probably wearing it under his glove.
no,
Yeah,
that's the problem. It hit
the glove
off the
down.
ring in his glove, and that's why it was a
Yeah, makes sense.
caught cleanly. It was just a rebound.
Yeah, nice little ground ball.
So I mean, like you said, like good for the Canes for coming back, and I mean they've got some guys on there. They've got some veterans on there that have been there before. I mean, you got Jordan Stahl, who's got a cup from Pittsburgh. He fucking showed up big time when they needed him to. Justin Williams, Mr. Game 7, always fucking shows up. He's got 3 cups, just won one last year.
Most
Taco Tuesday
points.
Yeah, and I think he's only lost one Game 7 in his career.
Yeah.
8 right now.
Yeah, that's unreal. And then you got fucking Taco Tuesday, Teuvo Teravainen, Stanley Cup champion with the Chicago Blackhawks. Ever heard of him?
TVR, by the way, as well.
TVR. Yeah, I mean, Teuvo scored some timely goals this series too. I mean, it's just they're getting depth where they need it, and they're getting that leadership from the guys, and then you got Rod the Bod leading the way. How do you not fucking sacrifice everything you've got when you got Rod the Bod screaming at you and 24/7?
I would run through a goddamn glass door for Rod the Bod. Are you fucking kidding me?
Not a brick wall.
Because I want the glass to fall on me and cut me. Just to let him know that I am here for you.
Did you guys hear his pregame interview before Game 7?
No.
They were like, "What have you guys been planning? What's your guys' game plan for this Game 7? You know, have you guys been doing anything differently?" And he was like, "No, we have Mr. Game 7, so." And it ended up fucking working.
Wait.
He got the apple.
Yeah. So he
Right.
did. Apple. He did. So they're gonna go off and they're gonna play the Islanders next round. So
They were all over Washington in that overtime. Like,
oh my god.
They're out shooting them like 10-2 halfway through the first overtime. Like it's just
like the fucking Capitals didn't even have a shot until like 15 minutes into the fucking first overtime. Like, it was ridiculous.
I think they ran out of gas.
That really makes you wonder, everybody talks about, we played so much hockey over the past 2 years. Is it going to catch up with you? Even if they got past the Hurricanes, it didn't even look like they were going to have gas to go much longer.
Yeah.
They looked fucking just exhausted.
Yeah, they did.
especially against a well-rested Islanders team.
Yeah,
who's being
kidding.
led by your former coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That would have been insane. I forgot about that.
That would have been nuts. Let's talk about probably the most controversial Game 7.
Yeah.
San Jose, Vegas. Incredible that it went to Game 7 in the first place. San Jose was virtually dead in the water.
Yep.
They
Nice.
thank you.
Sharks dead in the water.
I'm glad you said
Glad
hey,
you
nice, because I never would have caught that.
Yeah. And just out of nowhere, they win one game at home. Game 5, make it 3-2, and all of a sudden it's possible. Marty Jones finally comes out of nowhere, stands on his head in Game 6, makes almost 60 saves.
Yeah, unreal.
They win in double overtime. A brutal goal by Marc-Andre Fleury. I don't know what the hell happened there.
I think he got tipped.
Stat guy, real quick. So, most saves in franchise playoff history. Jones with 58. The other 3 goalies to get 50-plus saves in San Jose history. You want to take a guess at who they are?
Evgeny Nabokov.
No. Yes, actually, that's right.
I know it's right.
Just 2 other ones.
I don't remember the other 2.
Anthony Niemi.
Oh.
No. I'm trying to think of other
Kiprusoff?
goaltenders that played. What'd you say?
Miko Kriprasov?
No.
I don't think Kipper ever played in the playoffs.
But, I mean, I'm pretty sure this one's Finnish. There's one that's Finnish.
Well, why don't you finish your thought and just tell us? Ha.
Vesa Toskala.
Oh yeah, Toskala.
Yeah. Yeah, the Civ himself.
Yeah. And who's the other one?
He was just gonna stop.
He was from 98. That's up.
Well, 2 out of 3 is fine by me, I guess.
His name's Wade. Wade something.
Oh, stat
Oh.
guy.
Yeah. Who knows?
Wade Flaherty?
Thoughts over, Tanner.
Yeah, that's
I mean, if I'm right, I'm fucking right. That's all I'm saying.
Look it up.
Give me a second. Go ahead.
So, winning game 6 in double overtime, a shorty, no less. Place is buzzing. Or the locker room is buzzing, at least. And
Going back home.
Yeah. Game 7 in the Shark Tank. Vegas comes out and scores the first goal. I thought as soon as they scored that first goal, I thought it was
done.
that was it.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Vegas all the way. And then they went up 2-0, and then they went up 3-0 in the third. And then it happened.
Which it shouldn't have.
That second goal was a high stick by
Yeah, Cody Eakin. Yeah, that was definitely a high stick. They reviewed it, and I guess it was they didn't have enough evidence to turn it over. But I mean, you could tell that was a high stick.
Yeah, but it's that stupid rule that if it's called a goal on the ice, it has to be circumstantial evidence to overturn.
Yeah.
But Cody Eakin, again, he wasn't done. Right off the faceoff, he went and he gave Pavelski a nice little cross check. It wasn't awful. It's barely a 2-minute penalty. It's barely a 2-minute penalty.
That is not even a 2-minute penalty. That is
That's a 2-minute penalty. I mean, he cross-checked the guy.
Playoff hockey, that is not a 2-minute penalty.
Did he cross-check a guy?
He did. But
That's a penalty. I get it. That's a penalty. The thing is, this is what gets me. He cross-checks the guy. Stastny comes inside, swipes him on accident, incidental contact. Pavelski goes down. He's bleeding. There's no penalty on the play right now. There's no delay of penalty, anything like that. The refs realize that he's bleeding and he's still down. Then they decide to bring Eek into the box, and then they see he's still down, and then they decide to toss him. That's fucked up. You cannot make calls based off of players being injured. If there's no penalty on the play originally, you can't just bring in a 5 minute in a game. You can't do that.
And did you hear that their original thing that they said to I always fuck up the coach's name. Gallant. Yeah. That they said that he high sticked him.
Yes. Yeah, they said they cross checked him in the face. No. Like I don't know. Like
no,
it's like you don't want to add more reviews to plays, but a lot of people are saying if it's going to be a 5 if you're trying to decide between a 2 and a 5, you should be able to review it. But I don't want to add reviews, but if it's going to be like that, then you have to.
That's a big situation.
If you're a referee in that game, and at that point in time, I know it's a 3-0 game for Vegas, and it seems like it's done. But in order to give a team a 5-minute power play,
and not only that, the Sharks, who have one of the best power plays, even though they were 0 for 3 before the game or throughout that earlier in that game, but like still that power play, and if they score 1, that place is gonna be jumping.
That place, that play, the penalty, it has to be egregious. It has to be like the Kadri hit. That's a 5-minute major and a penalty.
100%.
I mean, something
that was intent to injure.
100%.
Deacon was not trying to hurt Pavelski whatsoever.
That's a play. That's a play that happens every single fucking face-off. Like, it happened in Game 7 against the Hurricanes and Capitals.
As an official, though, like you see that happen in real time. No one really catches it. The players are going fucking bananas. The guy is literally laying on the ice with his head bleeding.
But that's what I'm saying, though. There's no way that you could just out of nowhere call that just a 5-minute major. If you
can't.
No, I'm only saying that like it makes sense with like real time. That's what the officials did because like. What are they supposed to think? Like they
give him a 2 then.
Slow motion fucking penalty kill like kind of shit. Like
you can't the refs can't make calls because the players are bitching. Like then what is it? You're just gonna start calling everything and everybody's gonna start bitching.
And the reason why I don't buy into the reason I don't buy into the real time, they made a real time call is what we said earlier. They didn't call a penalty on that initially. They didn't call a penalty until they realized that he was hurt and on the ice.
And it's not like it was behind the play. The face-off just happened, and everybody's watching the play happen. Like, and not only that, the NHL just reached out to the Vegas Golden Knights and apologized for them calling the penalty. Like, obviously they fucked up and they know it. Mm-hmm. And none of those refs are reffing in round 2. So
I was going to say, if your excuse as that referee is to be, it was super loud, everybody was yelling, and, I didn't really see it, I didn't know what to do, so I just called a 5-minute major, you're not going to ref anymore.
No.
You're not going to be doing any games. You shouldn't be in this league.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are also saying, they're like, oh, well, you know what? They still shouldn't have let 4 goals in, to get them in that situation. It's a completely different situation where if it's a 2-minute penalty, Vegas comes in, scores 1 goal, or San Jose scores 1 goal, then it goes back to 5-on-5. Vegas going huge. Up, even if they got the momentum, Vegas is going to be able to play a much better containment hockey 5-on-5 than they are going to be 5-on-4 with a team that's just fucking jacked.
So here's what I'll say on that. I am kind of on that bandwagon of if you can't give up 4 power play goals on a 5-minute major. I understand that it's a totally different situation. The crowd is rocking. I get it. I understand that it's hard. You can't give up 4 goals. I honestly, for that, I blame Gerard Gallant. You have to call a timeout after that second goal. You have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So the thing is, I get you can't let in 4 goals on a 5-minute power play. But you have to read the situation. Playoffs is all about momentum, and it's all about energy. They get 6 seconds in. Logan Couture scores and points to the bench and says, "That's 1." It's game over.
Oh, that's fucking 1.
Yeah,
let's fucking go.
You see how how much emotion he had into that celebration pointed at the bench, and how much they surrounded Pavelski when he was down. There was no stopping them. They put the second goal in. I texted you guys. I was like, "Game's over. Like it's done."
Oh yeah. Oh, I fucking called the third.
You can know
Couture's stick. I was like, oh, that's fucking bingo number 3 right there.
And like
got it.
Jerem said, like if they score 6 seconds into a 2-minute power play, like yeah, that place is gonna be buzzing. Couture's gonna be excited. He's probably does the same Selly, but then they go back and it's 5-on-5, and Vegas is controlling the play every 5-on-5, like throughout the whole 5-on-5 game. Like it's
a completely different.
Changes the whole game.
Yeah, it's completely different.
It does, but it helps if your coach calls a timeout in that situation because it diffuses that pressure that's going on right now. You get to regroup. You get to throw your best penalty killers out there and say, listen, we gave up 2 goals. Everybody relax. Stop running around. Kill off the next 2.5-3 minutes of this penalty, and we're going to win this hockey game.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you call a timeout, yeah, that's definitely going to slow the play down. But that place is fucking rocking, and the Sharks are relentless at that point. Like a timeout's just going to give them more time for their power play to calm down, and more time for them to drop another play for the next face-off.
I would rather take my chances at taking that
No,
time.
100%.
Yeah.
Rather than not doing anything with it and just shitting my pants.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
That situation,
I
they should
agree,
have
but
called
I'm just
timeout.
saying, like, they could still easily pop those 2 back in after the timeout.
It shouldn't. I think the main thing here, though, it's like, yeah, they should have called the timeout, but at the same time, they shouldn't be in that situation where that's necessary.
Yeah.
One of the most exciting fucking playoff hockey right there.
Oh
my God.
Absolutely insane. And
I missed it.
Sharks take the lead, and Vegas puts out 6 forwards. They didn't have a single defenseman out there. They put 6 forwards out there, and it fucking works, dude. That's gonna be nuts. Teams are gonna start doing that, and it's gonna be exciting. They fucking tie the game up, and we get overtime, baby. Game 7.
My favorite thing is the fact that it's Jonathan Marchessault who was given to Vegas to take Riley Smith. Like, that's insane. Like, you're literally tying the most prime game in your fucking like entire franchise at this point with a player that was given to you
to take someone else.
because they wanted to get rid of somebody else. It's like how do you just do that? And like when you also see the way that this first round went down, it's like, how are you really valuing these players? Like, it's crazy. Like,
yeah, it's funny too because Vegas, like, they just played an all-around team game. They looked a lot better this year than they did last year. They got knocked out in the first round, but I mean, that team's gonna be good for a while, man. That they've got 2 first lines. That Stone, Pacioretty, and Stastny line is just unbelievable. Stone, when he scores, it gets me going. Like, holy fuck, he gets excited.
Is your pee-pee a little bit fucking wiggling off?
Yeah, there's a little wiggle in there.
Also, by the way, Wade Flaherty, like I was saying,
Was really
not even wrong.
Selly over there.
Called it out. That guy. Bam, baby.
Happy for you, Tanner. Something pretty cool before we move on that I thought, just kind of thinking about it. After Pavelski gets hurt, you know, obviously he's one of their top guys. Kevin LeBanc gets 4 points in that one power play. Not necessarily the guy that they're supposed to be looking for to get points. You know, Logan Couture, yeah, he scored 2 goals out of that. But
Carlson had a couple points.
Shout out to Kevin LeBanc. Mm-hmm. And the guy who wins the game for San Jose, Barclay Goodrow. You know, not the guy that you think is going to end up winning the game for the Sharks. So they're also getting that depth. They're also getting that secondary and tertiary scoring. Thank you, Tanner.
Tertiary.
It took me a second. It's 10:30 at night. Leave me alone.
Oh yeah. Also, before we move on, I think what goes without saying, as much as we kind of disagree with that penalty call and all that, fucking, we hope Pavelski's okay.
Yes.
Nobody here. Yeah, it's so.
Guys, Captain America, man, you gotta fucking root for him. You know,
it's terrifying how much blood was coming out of his helmet.
It was coming out of the top of his helmet too. Like that was, I didn't understand how.
Yeah,
I think they said something. The helmet cracked or something.
Yeah.
No, I told you. I was telling you guys. It's one of those compression cuts
where
it was
so hard.
It's like the skin like gets so twisted that it ends up cutting. It takes on so much pressure that it just tears. But it's not like this is really dangerous breaking kind of shit.
Right.
It's like the only thing that can like tear at that point is the skin being twisted so hard.
Okay.
It's a tough look for whatever helmet company he was wearing.
Yeah, no shit.
Warrior.
I watched.
Yeah, I thought it was Warrior.
And, okay,
last buckets in the league too.
Last thing before we move on.
Bucket breaking right now because that's a rough look. That's like a fucking Zion Williamson. Fucking
Yeah. Last thing before we move on. I just looked up to see if there was any update on his status. Yeah, it says Pavelski unlikely to play in game 1. No fucking shit.
He's
That
got
game 2
concussion fucking like protocol going on.
Yeah.
All right.
No way you don't fucking do concussion protocol and be like, yeah, no, you're cool. You were knocked the fuck out in probably the greatest period of hockey I've ever seen in my life. Like, you were the catalyst of like this insane fucking comeback. Also, I love the fact that like San Jose calls Kevin LeBanc, Kevin Money in LeBanc. That is the fucking best shit.
Yes. All right, Brian, you ready? Got to do it.
Just rip the Band-Aid.
Wow. That was mean.
What?
That was really mean.
What happened?
I missed it. What, did he do something?
No, we both at the same time we said rip the Band-Aid.
Oh.
Did you really? I didn't
Yeah,
hear you. I'm sorry. And then Tanner just got up.
What do you?
All right. Well, Game 7, Toronto, Boston. A lot of hype going into this one. Toronto, obviously, really, really wanted this one just because if they don't, it's basically Capitals and Pittsburgh all over again. You know, and they came out flat. And Freddie did not look very good in that first.
What do you mean they came out flat? They actually controlled the entire tempo of the game.
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong game. I'm thinking of the wrong game. When they came out flat.
They came out buzzing. I mean, they dominated the whole. I mean, it was a back and forth first period, but I mean, they controlled pretty much the whole tempo of the game. It was just 2 miscues, which the Bruins are unbelievable at taking advantage of miscues that any team has, and that's why they're such a good team. 2 defensive breakdowns. Jake Gardner. Apparently Matthews was calling for the puck and he dropped it, but I don't know. That's just a bad play. I mean, you got to read the situation. He drops it, and I think that was the Johansson goal. Comes around the net and just puts it home. I think it was Travis Dermott threw it just right up the middle, even though he had space to skate it, and then turned around and it went right in. I mean, it's so frustrating to watch. And then you go into the second period and they fucking dominate the Bruins. The Bruins don't even stand a chance. I mean, it's just
best play. That was their best period of the series.
100%. And I knew at that point, I was like, if they don't fucking score, they're done. Like, they're not going to win this game. And it's just, and then you go into the third period, you know, Bruins score again. And I don't know.
Well, the thing is, they get your hopes up a little bit because John Tavares makes it 2-1, and
yes,
like, oh, okay, here we go. All right,
and it's John Tavares. Everybody's been like, "Oh, where's John Tavares? He's no offense, no offense." Well, he's been playing a shutdown role. Of course, he's not going to produce much offense. But look what happens when you take him away from that Bergeron line that he's been defending so much, and you put him out there with Ennis. He gets some open space and he puts it home. It's going to happen. Like,
he fucking knew he was getting that too, and he hopped off the.
100%, 100%, and it's so frustrating. They get a lot of Leafs fans are bitching about penalties, and I get it. There's a lot of shit that the Bruins pull off, but they play playoff hockey and they know what they can get away with. The Leafs get 2 power plays. The Bruins don't get any. The Leafs don't score on either of them. But Mike Babcock, anytime the puck leaves the zone, he switches the power play units. Why are you doing that? Your power play 1 is dominant. You have John Tavares, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Morgan Riley, and fucking I can't think of the John Tavares. I can't think of who the fifth one is. No, Nylander's on the second unit. But I mean, that first unit is just dominant. Why are you taking them off the ice with, 50 seconds into a power play, throwing out your second unit, who Patrick Marleau can barely keep up with the play right now? Why is he out there?
Well, even in the third period, fucking Tyler Ennis is their best player on the fucking ice. He's all over the ice. He's dominating the play.
Tyler Ennis has been one of the best players on the team all season. He had been a healthy scratch a lot, and he brought so much jump to that fourth line. He should not have been on the fourth line. Connor Brown, Willie Nylander, and the Patrick Marleau line was garbage. Once Kadri got suspended, that line became terrible. And when you have Tyler Ennis buzzing around out there and Freddie Gauthier is not doing anything on the fourth line, you need to move Tyler Ennis up. Yep. Mike Babcock just sticks to his role, sticks to his lines, doesn't change up the lines at all, and then just rotates his four lines. I mean, when you look at it, 5-on-5 play, John Tavares had the most ice time, 5-on-5 with 14 minutes, and then you look, and Patrick Marleau had just under 12 minutes of 5-on-5 time. How?
Matthews have?
Matthews is at 13.
Ridiculous.
But still, it's like...
And Nylander had 11:30. Marleau had more ice time than Nylander.
Line so much. Like, especially you're not at home. Like, you need
to you need to change things up because, like I said, look what happens when Tavares gets some space and you take him away from that Bergeron line. He gets fucking space and he's gonna bury it. Like, it's just so frustrating because you can't be in that Game 7 NHL playoffs against the Bruins and just roll your four lines. Not with that team. Not with Kadri suspended and out. I mean, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to work. Babcock got out coached.
I will say, when Joel Quenneville mixed up lines during the games,
it was frustrating.
There were times it drove me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But
it worked.
At a good chunk of the time, it ended up working.
Yeah. And not only that, if there's multiple times where he switched it up, knew something wasn't right, gave him about 2 shifts, and he switched it back. And then when they switched it back, the chemistry came back. It's like, I don't know. It was very frustrating. Like you said, it was very frustrating to watch that shit. But it's way more frustrating watching the same thing over and over and over and over again. I mean, not to take away from the Bruins. Like I said, they capitalize on every opportunity that they get. And Tuukka, I don't know why he gets so much hate in Boston. He was unreal that game.
He was very good that game. He was. He brought it that game. I want to ask you, Nazem Kadri being suspended since Game 2.
Does he get moved?
No, not that. Do they win this series with him in the lineup? Because my thought process is they win that game or that series in Game 6 at home.
I don't know if they do. For some reason, clinching games in Toronto is just not something that they do. Obviously, they don't do it in Boston either. What am I joking?
I'm gonna put the stat guy hat on for a second here. Since 1969, Boston is 6-0 in playoff series against the Leafs.
Yeah, and it's the first time ever that it's been 3 times in a row that 3 teams have met, and it's gone to Game 7, and the same team have won all 3 or something like that. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I think they have a lot better chance, that's for sure. Because, I mean, they shut down the Bergeron line Game 7. They didn't do anything. It was all their depth guys, the Bruins. And like I said, that line without without Kadri was garbage.
Yep.
Can't you also put a little bit of an argument that maybe him being suspended was a little bit of a help for him too, because Boston was so in his head that he might have just continued to hurt them by doing stupid shit and just taking those huge penalties?
It could. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't get suspended Game 2. Maybe he gets suspended Game 3, but they win Game 2. Like, who knows? But, I mean, they've met back-to-back years in the first round, 2 Game 7s. He's been suspended for more of the games than he's played in between the 2 series. Like, that can't happen. That can't happen. Mm-hmm. That's just selfish hockey. That's being a selfish player that's not caring about anybody other than yourself. It's just...
You literally help your team to the playoffs 2 years in a row, and then you hinder them by not being a player.
And that's the thing. Like, he's so good in the regular season of keeping a cool head and being like a Marchand type, not as skilled as Marchand, but being like a Marchand where he can get into the heads of other people. But it's something about the Bruins that they just get into his head, and that's it.
How about him and his tweet after the Norris Trophy or nominees got announced, and he's like, you know what, I think the NHL needed to take a look back at that one. Nice little nod to his suspension.
Yeah.
For Morgan Riley.
Yeah, so he's like, Morgan Riley getting snubbed. You know, I think the league needs to look at that one again.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, Whatever, dude. You probably sent that from the fucking press box.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I was sitting in the press box.
Fuck, pay me to do anything, dude. I'll fucking
I'll tweet from where the fuck you want. At least give me some money.
give me those 4 sheets. I'll do it.
Yeah. How about Zach Hyman that comes out today? Torn ACL. He's been playing on it for a while.
3 games.
Yeah,
3 games he played with a torn ACL.
Yeah, you could tell he was hurting.
He still played well.
Yeah, he still played really well. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, it's another Game 7 loss in Boston for the Maple Leafs. Boston goes on to play Columbus. They started that game, that series tonight on Thursday night. Ended up winning that one in overtime, which moves us into our second round predictions. How are you? Nice transition. Thank you very much. Let's start with Columbus and Boston, since we're already kind of on that track. What do you guys think in that series? What are your predictions? What
Columbus in 4.
I don't know. I picked Columbus. I think they can do it. I hope they do it. I hate the Bruins. I fucking want the Bruins to lose.
Yep.
But honestly, I think they can do it. They had a slow start to game 1. I mean, they had a bunch of time off, so that's expected. The Bruins just came off a high of game 7, beating the Leafs again. They're going to come out buzzing. But, I mean, they scored, 2 goals in 13 seconds to take the lead. They ended up losing in overtime. I thought they looked really good. Bob looked good. He let in, one soft one. But I mean, they steal a game. They steal game 2. They head back to Columbus. Watch out.
Yeah, I thought they caught their win. Not going to go into it too much, but I thought they caught their win in game 1 in the second period. I think they kind of found the groove. It was almost identical to that Tampa Bay series.
Yeah, they just need one big momentum swing, and they can run away with it.
Yeah.
Big momentum swing was first round. They can keep it going.
There you go.
Yeah, well, they didn't. So
I'll read off as we go through them. Noli and Tanner both took Columbus. Potes and myself took Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking traitors.
I don't think that that Columbus is going to do it. I'm going to root for them too.
Oh, I want them. I gotta be.
I think they're going to beat Boston.
That was me first round when I said game 7 Boston. And I was like, I don't want it, but I know it's going to happen.
Yeah. So we'll see. Game 2 is coming up this weekend. I believe on Saturday afternoon is game 2. So the other Eastern Conference series that we got going on is going to be the Islanders, who would have thought they would have made it farther than the Leafs. Sorry, Noli. And the Hurricanes.
Like everyone predicted.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? John Tavares scores the only goal. Gets left out to dry with the rest of his team. What up, Islanders? You remember that?
I was gonna say, I mean, honestly, you could have said like everyone predicted to every playoff series from now on. Like even the one that we just talked about, like everyone predicted. Yeah, it's bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
This is just a bad dream.
It is.
This whole playoff series is a bad dream.
I hate it so much, but it's so fucking awesome at the same time.
It's so great. It is so fucking great. I'm only mad because I'm not right.
This is truly, what? This is
100%.
truly, this playoffs is truly for like the true like fans of the game. Like, as much as I would love for like, the big names, and grow the game audience a little bit, I fucking love that this is like, oh shit, this is why this is happening kind of thing,
Yeah.
And that the Oilers are out of the playoffs. That's awesome.
Yeah, that one too.
I was going to say, for every fan that's like, oh, the draft is rigged, the playoffs are rigged. The draft is rigged because the Blackhawks got 3rd overall. Tell me about how the playoffs are rigged right now, because every fucking playoff winner has been like eliminated in the first round. There's no fucking divisional winners in the fucking next round. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but
Nothing
the Bruins won.
You fucking psychopaths.
The Bruins won. It's rigged.
Same with St. Louis.
All right, so for this series, all 4 of us are taking the Islanders.
Yeah. Even though they're at Barclays Center, and that's going to be a bit different.
Real kick to the dick.
Yeah.
Also, you guys are bitches because you called like the Caps if it wasn't the Canes. Fuck you. I called Islanders all day.
Okay, that's fine. We'll give you that point.
Thank you.
No, it's a completely different series depending on who they're playing. Sorry, the Caps would take out the Islanders.
You get a pretend point for.
No, fuck you and your fake points.
If the Islanders win by a series plus 5 goals, then I win.
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Let's head out west.
Okay.
Out west, as we said, right now we've got Dallas and St. Louis going on. Currently, St. Louis is winning in this game by a score of 3-1. Tarasenko just made me shit my pants with the goal.
And ironically, the picks are 3-1 St. Louis, with me, Potes, and Noli taking St. Louis, and Tanner taking the Big D.
Tanner, why you?
Fuck you. Fuck
you. Nice.
You didn't think I was going to catch
What's your thought on the Dallas pick?
Huh?
What's your thought on the Dallas pick?
Oh, I can tell you what it is.
The playoffs don't fucking matter.
Oh.
I mean, the playoffs matter. They don't make sense.
Shit.
It's not the.
You thought someone was going to win? No, you're wrong. Fuck you.
I thought it was just your Ben Bishop high.
Oh, yeah. And also, Ben Bishop is not the
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I love Ben Bishop. I really, really wanted to pick Dallas in this one. I really think that they can actually do it. Watching them play in Nashville, I just think that the Blues are fucking rolling right now, and nothing's gonna stop them.
Yeah.
But I really
like Ben Bishop is
letting in 3 goals this game and losing. So yeah,
it's only 3.
Yeah, and Bennington's only let up 1. So
well,
I really want the Stars to win. This is my one where I want to be wrong.
If you told me in January that the Blues were going to be in the second round and looking like probably one of the favorites to represent the West in the final, there's no fucking way. There's no way you can even fucking pick.
I'm going to be so mad when it's a Blues Bruins final. And I'm just going to turn off the NHL for fucking 17 years.
Not going to watch the final if that's it. Not going to do it.
No fucking way. Worst ratings in the world for the finals, because I'll tell you what.
We'll start covering beer league for during out the finals.
I'm going to fucking NHL way harder. Fuck this.
Only way that I watch that final is if the Bruins sweep it 4-0 and Torrey Krug scores the game-winning goal in overtime by flying through the air.
No. Still not.
It's like Bobby.
Moving on. So we got Vegas versus Calgary, right?
Colorado.
Should be. But we have San Jose and the Avalanche. This one's interesting to me. This one's probably going to be the one that throws me most for a loop, just because San Jose on paper is a much, much better team than the Avalanche are. But
so was Calgary.
Yeah. I really don't trust Marty Jones against that top Colorado line.
Nathan McKinnon is a man on a mission, and he can do no wrong.
Coach, do you remember me talking about Mike Smith?
Yeah.
Mike Smith, Marty Jones, they're the same person.
Yeah, but Mike Smith actually played well that whole series.
Mike Smith played well. Yes, he did. But the defense couldn't hold fucking Colorado to less than 50 shots a game, which is absolutely fucking insane.
If they're going to give up 50 shots a game, there's no way that San Jose is going to come out of this alive.
No fucking way.
Especially with their defense.
Nate McKinnon is literally going to put his dick all over everyone's face in this playoffs.
I mean, looking at San Jose's defense compared to Calgary's, like you said, the goaltending is pretty equal. You don't know what you're going to get with it.
Yeah.
But you look at the defense, man. I mean, you got Brent Burns, you got Erik Karlsson. Those are your 2 big guys. Getting Marc-Edouard Vlasic back was huge, and they won 3 straight once he came back. And Marty Jones started looking better because he actually had a stay-at-home defenseman in front of him. But I mean, I don't see it, man.
Erik Karlsson is still hurt a pretty decent amount. So
but he's still putting up points.
Well, did you see that tweet that I sent you guys?
Yeah.
Where it's like Erik Karlsson, if he were to not play anymore, he needs to go to the hospital because everything is wrong with him.
Yeah, as soon as he's out of the playoffs, he's getting full groin reconstruction.
Yeah.
if I can, I'm going to line match my top line against Erik Karlsson all day long, and I'm going to make him a turnstile. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the go-to right there. I mean, I feel bad for Karlsson. Like, he's doing the best he can, but he's a UFA this year. Like, who's going to pay him knowing that he's got this much wrong with him?
Hey, you know what? If he wants to take a hit for not performing this year, come to Chicago, babe.
Yeah.
You literally cannot say that about Erik Karlsson. Blah, 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 blah. You can't say that about Erik Karlsson because he led fucking Ottawa to an Eastern Conference final on one fucking foot. Like, it doesn't matter what he has wrong with him.
And he hasn't been the same since, though.
Destroy himself for you. Like, the fucking, what?
Think about that. He destroyed himself for the fucking Ottawa Senators, and now his fucking whole career, I mean, not that he's gotten worse, but it's just he's not been the same player since that.
Well, the thing that sucks, though, is, like, as much as, like, that hit is awful, that Joe Pavelski thing is something that drives a team to fucking win championships.
Yep.
And that's something that, I can see San Jose fucking not losing the game the entire rest of the playoffs because of that.
And, I mean, I don't know. When Vegas still comes out and ties the game up after all that, I don't know. But,
God, yeah.
But, I mean, most of those guys were on the team when they went to the final and lost. So, I mean, they still have a chip on their shoulder to go out and actually do it. They want to do it for Jumbo. Obviously, Pavelski's hurt now, so they want to do it for him. I mean, they got a lot of guys they want to do it for, but I don't see it. I don't think they're as deep as everybody thinks, and I'm surprised they made it past Vegas.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, this is the year for them because they don't have cap space. And we're talking about cap space. Let's talk about drafts. Let's talk about the 2003 draft.
What's that? The Hawks have the 3rd overall draft pick this year? Is that it?
So, Noli and Tanner both took Colorado.
Oh, I unmuted myself. Fuck you.
Hey, Tanner, respect the mute, bud.
Yeah, Noli and Tanner both took Colorado. Post and myself took San Jose.
Oh, I actually did take San Jose?
Yep.
Shit.
Yeah, idiot.
Damn it. All right.
It's sad to say that we trust Philip Grubauer more than Marty Jones.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're the same person. They're both backup goalies.
Yeah. Jaron, we have one riding pine.
We do.
You're riding the pine pony, pal.
You're riding the pine pony, pal.
There you go.
So this one
You're on
comes.
papa, pal. Go on papa, pal.
This one comes from Noli's girlfriend Angela.
Recent graduate. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
It's for the 2nd time.
3rd.
Yeah. All right. So she actually sent a bunch, and I'm saving some because they're going to be good to spread out. So the one I'm picking today. What is the coolest or favorite autograph memorabilia each of you own?
What?
What is the coolest or your favorite autograph memorabilia that you own?
I actually just got one past weekend. Actually, at the Miller Show tournament, which I'll go into more detail of on Sunday when we record. Really awesome time. But I won a Brinks signed puck, which is pretty cool.
Brinks a cat.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Yeah, how does it look, Brian?
It looks great.
Oh God, Tanner.
Tanner, what do you got?
What's in the box?
I have a Michael Jordan signed basketball.
Nobody cares.
Is that legit?
Yeah. It's worth like $1,500.
Shit. That's actually kind of cool.
Not
right?
Not what I was expecting. Oh, you're just gonna toss it.
Fuck it, homie. $750 now. Fuck you.
What about you, Noli?
So I don't know if you could tell. We like memorabilia at my house. But
you had a couple 2-3 things, huh?
Yeah, I mean, look at the background. My favorite. So I've got a picture of the 2010 Stanley Cup team. I've got almost everybody on it, and I've got I'm 4 pucks away from having every 2013 champion on a Stanley Cup puck.
Who are you missing?
Taves, Sharp, Hossa, and Jarmelson. So once those are complete, those are definitely going to be my 2 favorites. But they're still working in progress. But yeah, those are going to be my 2 favorite.
The pad that your dad has is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Yep, my dad right here.
It's my dad.
His old school goalie pad he's got that he used to play with. Almost every Hall of Fame goalie that's still alive on there. So yeah, that thing's pretty rad.
That's fucking bananas.
Yeah, and on the other one he's got Jim Craig. So
yeah, but is it worth $1,500?
It might be worth more. So suck it, Michael Jordan.
Yeah. So I got.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Ryan said suck it.
Hey, 24 is better than 23.
I'm looking at my wall here, and I got 3. I'm just gonna real quick. One is my parent. No, fuck off.
What?
Adam Burr signed a picture for me and spelled my name wrong. Spelled it with a K. Fucking asshole. No, so.
What?
So I got a signed picture from Stan Mikita that my parents got me for Christmas one year, and it's personalized to me. I just love it because he's my favorite legend. It's a bummer I never got to actually meet him. Hear nothing but great things with him. The other one is one that I actually met was my Tony Amonte. I got Tony Amonte picture, signed it to Zach, even tossed in my nickname at the time. To Zach Wild Thing, all the best, and then Tony Amonte. He sat there and he talked with me for about 45 minutes. This was when the Hawks were fucking brutal. We were at a Best Buy for an autograph signing and just sat there and for 45 minutes with me. Coolest guy.
Yeah, I got him at a car dealership.
Yeah.
I thought it was Jack.
You're still on that. And then the last one. The last one.
I'll sign a fucking Windy City Betters podcast fucking hat for you guys, and then when we become big.
The last one I'm pulling off the wall, and I'm going to show. So anybody who actually sees the video of this, it's signed by Andrew, and Merry Christmas. This was his Christmas gift to a bunch of the guys one year.
I forgot I gave you that.
That's fucking great.
Found it, and I threw it up right next to the Eric Daze Fan Fest sign thing we got from him.
Love it.
That is outstanding.
Yeah, so that was an awesome one.
That is a good one. Awesome. Well, we're gonna throw it over to the interview with Nick now from Beer League Talk. We're gonna kind of wrap it up from there, and thank you for joining along. This was episode 55 from the Windy City Bender podcast, presented by Beer League Talk. All right, we are back. We are with Nick Fleehart from Beer League Talk. Nick, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. We are super excited to be getting to work really closely with you guys. Let's just kind of start from the top. Talk about Beer League Talk. What's it all about? How did it all get started? How'd you get involved with it? All that good stuff.
Well, I guess first, it's the greatest hockey show in the world. I know I'm on your hockey show. You guys can be second best, but yeah, Beer League Talk, greatest hockey show in the world. It's just it's really a show that kind of came together because we wanted to promote the views and the lifestyle and the fun, the atmosphere of the adult athletes in air quotes, because I've seen some pretty shitty adult athletes. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you guys know what the best part about hockey is. It's the locker room, and it's an extension of the locker room. So if you enjoy the camaraderie, the fun, the lifestyle of the locker room, that's what Beer League talks about.
How did it all kind of come about? Who started it out? How did you guys start to think about this?
Well, you know what? Like I mean, I started. I've been there since the beginning. Really, I play a lot of hockey very badly, but I do play a lot of it. And I met a guy that was a DJ for a big radio station, Seattle morning show. His name is Steve Miggs of the BJ and Miggs show. And we were playing hockey together. He's like, "Hey, dude, like you have this kind of inside knowledge because you work full time in adult hockey, and you have the personality and you have the voice, and you should just start something and see what happens." And I really just thought my mom would be the only one that listened because I live a whole country away from her. And it turns out that we've found a lot of like-minded individuals, and it's growing, and it's definitely taken on like what I never pictured it would be what it is now. I mean, just a couple months ago, the Ducks brought me down to take part in their big beer league tournament and gave me a whole live show to do at their party. The Bruins and the foundation up there brought me up last year to do a huge charity event, and so we just keep moving. We keep adding more content, keep getting more people that are excited about what we're doing, just like you guys. I mean, you guys are hockey players, so bringing you guys on is really huge to give us some more hockey content.
So what I'm hearing is you got like 1,700 moms right now that are supporting you.
It might even be way more moms, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there that they love being involved, and I'm super stoked. I work full time in the adult hockey. Like I mentioned, we do these tournaments where we travel around, and it's been pretty rad to have people that listen to the show, and then so they come out to the tournaments and want to hang out with us. And it's always crazy when they're like, "Hey, Nick, do you remember when you did this in episode 15?" And I'm like, "Shit, no, I don't remember that."
That's me every episode.
Yeah, it's like we released an episode today. We recorded it Monday, and I've been out of town with some work stuff, and I finally got to edit it today, and I sent it in, and I don't remember what we talked about. I just don't. Like, whatever comes in my head, I say it, and we have a good time and laugh, and that's what it's really all about. So
yeah.
So you keep talking. You mentioned how you work full time in adult hockey. That's the draft tournament that goes around across like Canada and the U.S. How did you get involved with that?
Well, it's more than just the draft tournament. That's just kind of one product that the company I work for provides. But we do adult leagues. We have 300 teams in 5 cities. We do the draft tournaments. We have beginner programs. We run a bar above a rink. And we do a couple other things that aren't hockey related. And so, I mean, how I got involved is I started playing hockey when I was 30 in Oklahoma because I married a Canadian and she made me. And
that's a good girl.
Kind of like,
what's his name?
We just kind of I caught the bug, and I just wanted to play all the time. We only played on Sundays in the league there. I wanted to play more, so I started my own league. Then I started a tournament, and I started traveling to tournaments. And then a tornado hit like 2 minutes from our house, and my wife said I want to move home to Canada. And I came up here and I met the guys that own the company, and it just like a glove, really. I mean, from that day on, that's all I've done, and it consumes me. My wife's like, "Hey, you're doing too much hockey." I'm like, "Hey, you started it."
You don't bring me to the home of hockey and then tell me I'm doing too much hockey right now.
You did this to me.
Yeah, I mean, but it is crazy. Like, I get it. Like we have a little guy, like he just turned 2, and like right before he was born, I said, "Hey, this is gonna be the last time we'll be able to go crazy with hockey, so I'm gonna do a charity thing for Heart and Stroke Society of Canada, and I'm gonna play hockey every day for 31 days and make a little vlog about it." And I did that, and she thought that would kind of tucker me out. But then this year I said I'm gonna go to 19 tournaments for 2019, and she thought I was bullshitting, but I'm not. And
so I have 20 so far.
I went to Vegas 2 weekends ago, and that was number 8.
Jeez.
Oh, wow. Jesus fucking Christ!
You're gonna nail 19.
Schedule, huh?
Oh yeah, I have 20 of them planned. If I don't add any more, I have 20 of them. But I have a couple ideas in my head about doing a couple beer league talk tournaments in like Vancouver and stuff. And so, our draft tournaments, like we have 20 of those a year, so it's pretty easy for me to get to 19 of them. Still a feat. I mean, I'm even going to Japan in September to play hockey. So
no shit.
Oh my God.
So any in Chicago or?
Yeah. We did our first Chicago draft last year. We did it at August. It's mid-August. We play right there at the Blackhawks practice facility. we get patted down for guns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
when
that's
we go
Chicago.
over there, which is weird.
You get through.
Welcome
and,
aboard. Welcome aboard.
But yeah, so actually, I was just at. We were just in Vegas, and I actually on my team in the draft tournament were 2 Chicago police officers, which was pretty rad. There's some pretty badass dudes.
Did that Vegas tournament last a little longer than expected? Had to go and play the slots for a couple of days afterwards.
You know, the thing with Vegas is like I don't do much gambling anymore because I'm so busy, and like when you go out there you just lose all track of time. So I kind of had to say, hey, you got to stay out of the casinos because then you miss your hockey games.
Mm-hmm.
You give your jerseys to strippers. It's not a good look.
So so I got to ask about your. So you got a 2-year-old. You got him on skates yet?
No, I've got no. He's not on skates. This summer is the thing, but like he got like a hockey net and 2 sticks for Christmas, and he took the hockey stick and he stood in net like he wanted to be a goalie.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And so I fired a puck off his dome. All he did was he just pointed to where the puck hit his head, gave me a mean look, dropped his stick, and walked away. And he hasn't been in net since. So I think I fixed it.
There you go.
No goalie.
Goalies are where it's at. Just saying.
Well, maybe. I can't talk bad about goalies this year. I told every goalie friend I know that 2019 will be the year of the goalie. So, so yeah. But we actually had a listener of Beer League Talk. His name is Frank, aka Wonderwall. That's his nickname. When I was telling him about my kid, he packed up a bunch of goalie gear and sent it to the office in Calgary, and so my kid actually has a full set of goalie gear, hoping that he never sees it.
Oh my god,
That is unreal.
So you're a big Calgary Flames guy. How did that come about?
You know what? When I met my wife before she got me into hockey, we would come up here every Christmas, and my first ever game was the Flames and the Oilers Battle of Alberta on New Year's Eve. It was rad. I was like, man, this sport is effing killer. And the next day I was just watching him practice because my wife had some stuff to do downtown. I ran into Jerome McGinley, and I just
not a big deal.
I mean, he's a great dude. Anyone that meets him is going to fall in love with hockey, and that's what happened to me.
That's the best way to get somebody into hockey.
Right there.
What was that, Tanner?
It's a subtle name drop right there.
Yeah.
Just ran into Jerome McGinley, like nonchalant.
My first NHL game, Jerome.
I will tell you, he made
fun
fun
of
of
my
my
table when I was out at brunch. Not a big deal.
Well, he made fun of my accent. This is crazy. He made fun of my accent. Told me I sounded like a hick, pretty much. Because I had a more Oklahoma accent back then. And the next year I came back, I met him again, and he remembered. Hey, you're the kid from Oklahoma. So that was pretty rad.
That is awesome.
That's dope.
I can't imagine he meets too many Oklahoma hockey fans.
Yeah.
You know what? Oklahoma hockey's growing, man. Like we have our first ever born and bred NHL player. He was he was with the Islanders for a while. Then he went over to Europe, and this year he was back in the Nashville organization. He was up for a couple months, and we've actually had 2 of our colleges have won national titles in the last 5 years, maybe 5 or 7 years. So you know it's on the come up, but football's still king there, which is rad. I like football too. By the way, University of Oklahoma quarterback just went number 1 overall in the draft tonight. So when we're talking about not a big deal, not a big deal.
Wait. Was the NFL draft tonight? Because
Yeah.
honestly, I've been watching playoff hockey, so I have no idea.
Yeah, the first round was
It was
tonight.
tonight. I was flipping through like on my phone because I just got back. I actually just landed from Vancouver, and I was on my way home. I was flipping through the draft and the hockey game. So
Yeah, it was hard to pay attention for the first round this year with the Bears not having a pick. So
well, I think you guys did all right with Khalil Mack. So it's
yeah,
not that big of a
it's
deal.
well worth it. We were joking.
Deal.
I was joking with
Well,
my
if you have-
brother. He's like, we should just walk up on the stage and just be like, the Bears select Khalil Mack, and then just walk away.
Well,
Bye.
or maybe a new kicker.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
That'd be helpful.
All right. So talking about playoff misery, Calgary just got knocked
Let's talk
out.
about playoff misery so bad
So
right now.
you mentioned you were at the game. How tough was it to witness the end up close like that?
Well, let me be honest with you. Fucking sucked. That's how it felt. It was shitty. It was heartbreaking. I told everyone I knew that I hated hockey the next day. So,
I feel you.
but you know what? Sometimes things aren't meant to be. And the only thing that I wanted was for the Maple Leafs to not win the cup if the Flames couldn't. And hey, the hockey god said, you know what, Nick, we've given you enough strife this year. And they made it happen. The Leafs are no longer in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that's all right with me.
All right. Well, thanks for being on our podcast.
I think like your one hope would be like Johnny Gaudreau to get a fucking point.
He got one. He got a second assist in the first game, right? Right.
That's how Duncan Keith won his second Norris Trophy. Was second assist all day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you know, the thing is it's crazy. Like it's crazy in playoff hockey. I find it weird that you have to build one team for the regular season and then you have to build a complete different team for the playoffs. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. It's just really weird.
Mhm.
And the Flames just they didn't have that. Like they didn't have the size to match up with the McKinnon line, which was crazy. Like the Flames were great all year, and McKinnon is just a beast. And he took it to him. And I mean, what can you do when better players play out of their minds? You know, it's going to be a tough time, and that's what the Flames happen. It's still depressing. It sucks having the best team in the Western Conference, and they can win one fucking playoff game. One single. Okay, don't get me started.
At least you're not Tampa Bay. But yeah. I did predict that like Matthew Tkachuk is like the playoff type player. Like I wanted him to be like the guy that like destroys fucking everything, pisses off every team, gets penalties, and fucking just destroys people. And then everyone's mad at him as he puts up like 1 goal and 2 assists in like fucking 8 penalty minutes, like every fucking series, and just gets so mad. And then nope.
Yeah. But you know, it's hard. He's a 21-year-old kid. I mean,
Yeah.
like I say this, like the way I put it in perspective is my college football team is really good, the University of Oklahoma, and they don't win the national title every year. People get pissed off at them. They call them names, tell them they suck. And then it's like, these kids are 18 to 22 years old. Like, think of what you did when you were 18 to 22. Sure as hell wasn't anything as good as playing in the NHL or in front of 100,000 people on a football field. So, yeah, you know, I love Tkachuk. I love what he brings to the team. But you know who surprised me was Sam Bennett. You guys might not know him out in Calgary, but he's the Flames' highest ever draft.
19-year-old Sam Bennett.
Well, he was 19 at one point. Almost like Eddie Lack's dad whenever the Canucks were in the playoffs that one year. But yeah, you know, that guy, like, he's a beast, man. Like, he was just out there just throwing bodies. It was crazy. And I love him, and I bring him up because I got a chance to interview him, and he's a really rad dude. And he was a beast. He's what the Flames need. He's what teams need in the playoffs, and the Flames just didn't have enough of him. And that's pretty much what it came down to. But now here we are in the playoffs. It's the year of the underdog. So I want the underdog to win every single series from here on out.
I was on it with you. I just want St. Louis to fucking lose so bad.
So I mean, like who are you got? Like, what's your like fantasy matchup now with the teams left?
As long as it's not the Blues, the Bruins, then I don't care.
We're saying Jackets and Stars or Carolina and Stars.
It's
Jackets and Stars.
The matchup of the natural disasters, the Avalanche and the Hurricanes. That's what I want.
Well, the Avs can go fuck themselves.
I was saying let Jumbo Joe finally get his cup, you know, and I want him, if he's going to do it, I want him to beat Boston for it.
Hold on, wait. Do you think they earned it? Do you think they earned the way
God,
to
no.
No.
God, no. But
yeah.
But you know, every year you got one player that, you know, needs that charity case kind of situation, and
that's why the Hawks pick him up.
Yeah.
Well, does Joe Pavelski get a charity case at this point? Because
it's here at this point.
You know, I always wanted Iginla to win a cup, and it never happened. So
that's fair.
I don't I don't think it's that big of a deal if Jumbo Joe, unless he's going to score 4 goals and whip out his donger.
If he wins the game if he gets the game winner in OT and it's his 4th goal of the game, I guarantee you it comes out.
Oh, it's just like fucking when the Caps won it last year and that girl pulled her tits out along the glass. Jumbo Joe's gonna go around the fucking ring.
Just with the hose hanging out.
Fucking dick out in the other. Just fucking stroking it.
I mean, I'm going to be upfront with you guys. If I can score 4 goals in a beer league game, I probably pull my dick out too. So.
Well, Nick, we couldn't thank you anymore for coming on and giving us the opportunity to join with Beer League. Last question we ask all of our guests: what is your favorite all-time hockey memory? Whether it's playing on the ice or watching, could be someplace that you played and one of your tournaments. What's your favorite hockey memory?
Oh man, I have so many hockey memories. It's so hard to narrow it down to one. So I'm gonna do 2.
Okay.
The first one, obviously my first goal. Like I remember it like it was yesterday. Sean Netterville from back in Oklahoma just set up in the corner, feed it out front, and I'm gonna tell you it was a bar downski, but it wasn't. It
was.
Bounced off my skate, went in. It was beautiful.
Off the skate and bar down. Whatever.
It's the thing is crazy because I was having really bad back problems at this time, and I just had some steroid injections, and the doctor was like, "You gotta sit out for a week, let it do its thing." I'm like, "Doc, like in 2 days we're playing the Sabres. They're the only team that's on our level in this league. I think I can score my first goal."
My only chance.
He's like, "I'm just telling you that you shouldn't." But I did, and I scored a goal. So
hey, that's every great hockey story right there.
Yeah, and then the second one is my first ever, like the draft tournaments that we play. Every team makes a championship game, so A, B, C, D final, depending on how many teams. And so I was my first A final, the number 1 final. It was in Vancouver at the most beautiful rink you'll ever see. And I'd probably played, I'd played 10 or 12 tournaments at this point. There was one point where my teams lost all 5 games, 5 tournaments in a row. So I was 0-25. And we won this A final, and like everyone from the tournament like made this like they lined up on both sides outside of the door, and when I came off the ice, they just gave me the beer shower as I was walking through. Yeah, the best. Like it's on YouTube. There's a video of it. It's just called Championship Beer Shower, Beer League Talk. Go check it out. That's literally because I love getting drunk and I love playing hockey and I love winning. So it was like all my favorite things.
Yeah, that's yep. Yeah.
I just want to like, it's kind of like within the realm like of my favorite like hockey moment is, it's Blackhawks 2009 playing the Calgary Flames, and the Blackhawks go down 5-0, and they just, come back and win, and it's Brent Seabrook in overtime that ends it, and then they go on to win the Stanley Cup that season, and that's my favorite.
Tanner, you're such an asshole, man.
All time. If you want to live in the past, you can do that. But now you're a team that's post Apex. You're riding the downhill slide, and it's going to be a long time for you boys. But keep those $10 million contracts in the playoffs, and
third overall pick.
Very nice to meet you. It was very nice to talk to you for the last time ever. So thank you very much.
All right, Nick,
boys. Well, thank you guys very much, and all your listeners. We're jacked to have you guys as part of the Beer League Talk Network, and hopefully we'll do some great things, and hopefully the Hawks and the Maple Leafs will continue to not win hockey games in the upcoming years, and we'll chat with you soon.
Hey, Nick,
the Leafs lasted longer than the Flames.
Okay, Nick.
Sure.
Nick, before you go, what days can they catch your guys' show?
Geez, we record live on Facebook every Monday. So if you want to catch our live show and see it on video, you can check us out then. But our podcasts are usually released Wednesday afternoon. This week was a little later just because I was away for work. But usually Wednesday afternoon is when our releases are. But we'd love for you guys to check us out, be involved, send us some tweets, buy some merch, and come play hockey with us.
Hell yeah.
Play hockey with us too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick, for coming on. Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys later.
Very nice to meet you, Nick, and thank you very much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, boys. We'll chat soon.
Follow the boys on Twitter at WCBPodcast, on Instagram at WCBPodcast, and like them on Facebook, the Windy City Benders Podcast.